How are you doing today? So for our video lesson for Monday, we're going to be talking a little bit more about storytelling. And I have here my dear friend Cheyenne, and she's here to tell us a story. And today's video lesson, the purpose will be to tell you how to make follow-up questions. So to keep the conversation going, to keep somebody telling a story, that's what we're going to practice. And I'm going to show you a live example. And then we're going to talk about the sentences and vocabulary for that. Okay? Awesome. So before we get started, Cheyenne, why don't you introduce yourself? Say where you're from, where you live, all that good stuff.
Hi guys, my name is Cheyenne. So I'm originally from Florida, but I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a research scientist at Emory, and yeah,
Cool.
I'm 24. I don't know if that's important. There you go.
Awesome. So Cheyenne and I went to school together in Florida, so that's how we know each other. Okay. So Cheyenne was telling me about a story she's gonna tell you guys about the time that she traveled to St. Croix in the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands. It is the U.S., right?
Yes.
Okay, great. And it's in the Caribbean Sea, just so you guys know. So now she's going to tell us the story about her trip. So,
Well, you took all my fun geography points
Right?
that I was going to include.
Sorry.
So we got to stay for a full week, which was really nice. And we stayed in an Airbnb, which had like its own private beach, and it was really beautiful. It had this really nice rocky overlook of the ocean. It was really gorgeous.
Okay, was it summer or which season was
it was in May, so it was like early summer.
early summer? Well, how was the temperature?
It was
really
so
hot?
perfect.
That's
No,
good?
it was really great. It was like low to mid 80s on most of the days. And like the weather up until the trip, like it was supposed to rain like every day, and it was perfect. There was no rain. The skies were perfect. It was great.
That's awesome. And just so you guys know, 80 to mid 80s is pretty comfortable. Instead of putting into Celsius, just so you don't have to rely on Celsius, I'm gonna tell you how fixing the video, guys. How to understand temperature. So 90, I would say 90 to like higher is really hot. So when it's more than 90, that's really hot. 70 to 90, I would say it's comfortable, depending who you're asking. But I would say from 70 to 90, that's like warm, but not too hot. And then lower, under 70s, it's when you start feeling like that a little bit, cooler weather, chiller breeze. And I would say for Floridians and Georgians, like anything under 60, it's pretty damn cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it starts in like the 50s, 40s, and the 30s is when you start seeing snow, low 30s, and then down from there. Yeah. So, okay. So you said it was around 80, in the 80s. So it wasn't too hot and it wasn't cold.
Yeah, really comfortable.
Oh, that's good. And why did you go there? Was it just a vacation?
It was actually my honeymoon. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Good. So was it right after your wedding or?
Yeah, we left the next day.
The next day after. Yeah, Cheyenne got married this year in May. It was a beautiful wedding in Georgia in the mountains, but that's another story. Okay, so do you have any fun stories or any nice places you went when you were there?
Yeah, we actually took a day trip to go snorkeling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, snorkeling is when you have the mask, the goggles, and the snorkel, and you're just floating in the water, and you're seeing like everything under the water. Okay. Oh, great. And like, was it in the ocean or in a lake? Well, it's a small island, so I guess it has to be in the ocean, right?
Yeah. So we actually took a boat to a smaller island off of St. Croix. That's like a protected, I don't know if it's a national park, but it's some kind of wildlife management area. So people can't live there.
Okay. Nice.
And so they take you to that place first to make sure that everybody knows how to use like their equipment and their flippers and stuff like that. Make sure you're comfortable in the water. And that's, so you actually get to just hop off the boat and play and try it out. And that's where I saw my first sea turtle, which is really awesome. Because it's like the size of my body.
Nice, cool.
Yeah. And then from there, once everybody's been familiarized, we hop back on the boat and they take you around to the other side of the island, which is where the actual reef is.
Okay, nice. And then everybody gets to go in the water and stay for as long as they want?
It's a limited period of time, but it's a really decent amount of time. Yeah, so I think it's more than, I think we spent an hour in the water, and it's really deep, and there's actually an underwater like trail of coral that you can follow and know like what the coral is, and there's a lot of really beautiful, like really vibrant tropical fish to see.
Nice. Oh, so you saw corals and tropical fish. That's nice. Did you see a lot of fish or?
Yeah, there was actually a really huge school of, I forget the name of them. They're a type of fish that they have this, like electric blue streak down the side of them. And there was hundreds of them. Yeah.
Wow. Anything dangerous there? Like
no.
rays or
no
jellyfish? Okay, cool. That's nice. And, so in the coral, was it really close to the surface? Was it shallow for you to like see, or did you have to dive deep?
You can dive if you want. A lot of the coral where it builds up comes up pretty close to the top, and you have to be careful not to touch it. Otherwise it'll kill the coral.
Yes.
Yeah. So once you float on the top, you probably have, just a little bit more than arm's length distance to like the actual tops of some of the built up coral.
Okay.
But there are deeper spots where it's not as built up, where it clears down to the sandy bottom.
Okay, that's nice. Cool. And how about the island food? Did you try anything interesting?
The food was actually surprisingly good.
Okay.
Usually you think like really small islands. I'd been to a small island before, and the food was super limited because they don't get a ton of like ingredients and resources. But the food was amazing. So a bunch of the restaurants we went to had really like small menus with artisan ingredients and fresh produce and stuff like that. So it was really good.
Nice. Do you have like a memorable dish that you tried and you're like, whoa?
Well, since it's like a U.S. Virgin Island, there's not like a cultural dish to try. So I think one of the desserts that we had was probably my most favorite, and it came in this jar, and it was like layered trifle cake. It was great.
That sounds good. That sounds really good. Do they have mostly fish as the main dish?
They had a little bit of everything, actually. Yeah, there was plenty of fresh seafood options. A lot of like fresh crabs and things like that, but there was a little bit of everything. Yeah,
that's good. And do you like fish?
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good. It'd be a hard place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's very nice. And in the island, how did you move around? Did you rent a car or was public transport?
I didn't see any public transport when I was there. I don't think so. And it's the off season when we went, so maybe there is during the prime, or like the peak season.
Yeah.
But we rented a car, and that was really easy. The island's actually not very large, so you can kind of get around and try a bunch of different beaches while you're there. So
nice. Did you have a favorite beach that you went to?
The private one, the Airbnb.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So was it only you guys, or it was different people in the same Airbnb?
It was just us. Yeah, we had a 2-bedroom house to ourselves.
Cool.
Yeah.
In the little private beach.
Yeah, it was on this big lot that used to be a mill of some kind. That somebody owned the whole piece of land, had a house there, and then that's where we stayed.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Cool. Let me see. Did anything else happen that was memorable from your trip?
I got really seasick.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we took a sunset like boating trip the night before we went snorkeling, and they take you out onto the water so you can watch the sun go down without, with any obstructions from the land itself.
Okay.
And it's really beautiful and really great, except when you want to vomit.
Yeah. That usually is not great. Was it a big boat or it was like a small one?
It was a good sized boat, and it was supposed to be like their most stable, smooth riding boat to kind of diminish the possibility of getting sick, but I did.
But you did. Yeah, I've never been in like I haven't been to too many boats, so I don't know if I get seasick. Seasick is when you are in a boat, guys, and you start feeling like kind of funny and you have to vomit. So, or you just feel sick in your stomach. So that's not really good. But I haven't been to too many boats. Have you been in a cruise before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't get sick from the cruise.
Not a cruise. Yeah, I guess it's like so big. It doesn't seem
you don't feel
any emotion. You don't feel like you're in a boat. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So guys, I hope you enjoyed Cheyenne's story about going to St. Croix for her honeymoon. I know she's speaking on a regular speed. I actually asked her to slow it down a little bit. But I think it's important for you guys to see, even if you don't understand everything that she said, it's okay. She was talking about snorkeling, going in the water to watch the fish and the coral. She was talking about food from the island, seafood, things like that. She was describing food and all kinds of things like that. I just wanted to show you an example of how to keep the conversation going. Sometimes somebody's telling you a story and, when you want to know more information, there's so many ways you can ask for more information. Yeah, the example I gave was just one example. Just like, she's talking about, going to see the coral. You can ask about, her favorite part of it. Or if she knew how to snorkel before she went. Or, if she likes diving, if that's something that she usually does. Or if it was her first time. There's so many things you can ask someone. And of course, a conversation is not always like about one person talking and the other asking. But when somebody's telling a story, I want you to do that with your native speaker. When they're telling a story about anything, I want you to ask them about a story. I send you some conversation points that I want you to use. And when they're telling the story, just try asking questions about the story. So you can ask about so many things within a story. I'm going to be sending you some adjectives for describing a situation, and also some sentences to help you like follow-up questions. The document from today will give you a lot of questions and follow-up questions, so take a look at that too. I'm not going to give you anything on the video because it's very personal. It depends on a lot of different things, so just look at the document I'll send you. Look at the list I'm also going to send you and the adjective words for when you're describing a story, okay? And, try to go after the questions you want for yourself. I'm giving you a lot of examples, but, the main point is for you to create your own questions, your own sentences. And instead of trying to translate everything from Portuguese, try to look at the examples I'm sending you and build the sentences from that. Okay? Awesome. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have great conversation sessions this week. Okay? See you later.